Hello, welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. My name's Lorene. I don't really know what I'm going to do today because it's not my usual video day. I haven't read any books because there's reasons. And this pile of books has been driving me kind of crazy since the spring, and I thought it needs a refresh, so I have vacuumed around it, not behind the books. And there's books that I really want to read. There's books that I have to read for book club. There's books that seem like a good idea at the time. And then there's books that somehow have come here because it's not even really like a good idea at the time. It's more like some sort of far off planet of readership that so I'm going to try and work my way through this. And so I have no idea how long it is going to be. I have no idea what I'm actually going to talk about. So if you're in for the ride, cool. If you're not, come see me next video. So what am I starting with? I'm going to start with the books that I need to read for book club, because that's an easily identifiable pile. And so I'm pretty sure it's just these three. This is how you lose the Time War by Max Gladstone, Margaret Lawrence, The Stone Angel, and I just finished this one for my book club, but this is short stories by Alistair MacLeod, and I'm going to keep reading the short stories that are not part of the book club. So I think I'll just put them in a pile off camera, so that gives me a bit of room. Then I did finish reading The Gift of Not Belonging by Remy Kaminsky that I was just telling you about. And I read it so fast, it really needs a reread. So that's what I mean. I've read it. I'm not great at this, the short stories. Maybe I should put a pile that I'm not great at, low expectations. Then I have these two series. This is the one C.J. Sansom, which is the Matthew Shardlake is the main protagonist, and it's taking place in Tudor England. It's a series about taking down the abbeys and monasteries and so forth at the time of Henry VIII's excommunication from Rome. And so I have read the first one, but there's 4 more. Then I also have, what was the first? Song of the Trickster was the first one that I read. I love this book. It was really worth the reread, and I'm keen to read the other 2. So what do you do with that? Like, that's just a lot of real estate. So I guess maybe I should, the 2 I've read, maybe I'll put underneath. You can't see that. And then, no, wait a minute. Oh. See what I mean? Okay, the next one is Return of the Tricksters, number 2. Okay, so that's the next one to read. And Heartstone, I believe, is number 2. Is it number 2? No, first there's Dissolution, then there's Darkfire. Darkfire is number 2. Okay, so what I'll do is these series will go under. That's it. These series will go one on top of the other, but underneath. And the books that I have written for that series, read for that series, will also go there. So the 2 that I want to read still, boom, that worked. Then I have books from the library that I like to keep off the shelf because God knows what happens if it's in the shelf. So that generally goes like where my bum is right now. So I'll keep that up. They are usually prioritized in sort of the top 2 or 3 are book club books, and then the bottom ones are books that I'd like to read. So that returns to the 2 book club books, go on top of the 2 library books, and that will continue as a method. Then I have all these books that seemed like a good idea at the time. The Reluctant Dragon. I wonder, that might be a fun one to take on the van. We're going for a week to New Brunswick in the camping van. That would be maybe a fun one to do as a read aloud. I'll put that in the camping pile. Then I have John Bellairs' book 2, which was the second one. I think it was a duo, and the first one was there was a clock in the house or something. It was really creepy. I don't really know why I want to read this. I don't really, tell you the truth. I think that's a let it go. Magic by the Lake. I've been reading Edward Egar's series, and that's just really low. What am I saying? It's okay, Like I'm not getting a lot of joy out of it, but it's not a crushing sorrow to read it either. So it's kind of in the meh pile. Let's put it in the meh pile. Then we've got these 4. Women of the Harlem Renaissance, Poems and Stories. It was edited by Marissa Constantino. I waited forever for this book to come out. It was forever. And so it's a whole bunch of little bits and pieces. I'm not sure how to tackle it because I know that I'm not good at the short story, as I say, but I think it's going to be a really educational book. So it's almost in the realm of nonfiction in a way, the poetry, but because I'm more reading it for getting to know authors and getting to know what were the concerns during that period of time in America, in that area. I guess it was New York, wasn't it? In Harlem? Yeah, Harlem. So, what to do? I don't know. There's in the what to do pile. Wendell Berry seemed like a good idea at the time. This is nonfiction, and I'm pretty interested in it, but it's also kind of low grapes. I've got other things that I think I'm more excited about. Let's put it underneath for now. Kate DiCamillo. I really would like to read her stuff. This one I've never read, The Magician's Elephant and The Tale of Despereaux. I think I read The Tale of Despereaux once, but it feels like it might make a good reread. So I think what I'm going to do is pop these 2 into the summer camp box, because they are great for if it's just, a weekend of pouring rain. They're just, you're not going to be... On those weekends when it's just bad weather after bad weather, I tend to go through books, and these are short enough that I can go through. And if I have a long book that I'm reading during bad weather, it just makes the bad weather seem longer. So, so we'll put that in the camp box. So wait a minute, we had the camping box, which is where we get in the van and we go camping. And then we have the camp, which is where we go to our little camp. And stay in place. Yeah, and let the bugs eat us. All right, what else have I got here? Frederick Backman, My Friends. I read that. I picked that up back when my girlfriend had just died. And I couldn't read it. I took it with me to Holland. I had no idea it was going to be that gut-wrenching. And I've been kind of leery of it. I'm pretty sure it's a good story, but I've been a bit leery of it. Maybe it's something I should read now because I'm feeling kind of peppy. Okay, I'm going to put that in the maybe now pile. I also have Guilty by Definition that just came in, and I have a feeling one of the problems with this pile over there is that I quite often get deflected by my book club books and what I have on hold at the library, because I feel like they're more urgent. But these are more how do you say that? It's like, it's not that I don't want to read the other ones, but I picked these up I picked the library books up for myself too. What on earth am I saying? I'm going to go with the impulse buy. I'm going to read it. So there we go. We've sorted out 4 books. 4 books. How many are there? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23, 24. Well, there's probably about 30 books here, and we've made a decision about 5 of them. We have several indecisive piles, but we're getting there. Oh no, 5, 6, 7. Okay, these are going in the gonna read it now pile. And the library books, we decided about those. Those are maybe not read it now, but they are in their own pile. All right, we're making steps. We're making steps. All right, next, what have we got? Let's just go through these as they appear on the shelf. Janet Winterson. Tangle Rack. It's been on my to-do list for a million years, and I don't know why. That's part of the problem. It's been on my list for too long. So I'm going to put that in the summer pile. Blackfoot Stories of Old. I did enjoy this kind of reading back at the camp. So this is sort of prose poetry in a way. It's got both languages, English and what would be the language of the Blackfoot? We'll just say Blackfoot. That will make a good summer bedtime read. Then I have another one, Ron Gaishik with Judy Doyle, Stories by an Ojibwa Healer. That should maybe be a sooner book. See, like I'm thinking about it in terms of shoulds instead of wants. It's going in the maybe pile. Okay, Eden Robinson, that's another one, Monkey Beach. She's the one who wrote the Trickster series, and people have said she's such a good author, you should read that one too. But I'm going to put it underneath this series because I don't want to read her I don't want to read that in the middle of the series. In case, things go bad, she pisses me off, then I won't finish the series. Okay, Anchors Away. Picked this up as an impulse, thought it would be hilarious to read. This is the book that I read when I was a kid, and it was a textbook, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of adventure stories in here. So I think I'm going to put that with Magic by the Lake, because it's more kind of nostalgic, I guess. Yeah. There's no urgency. That one's whenever I feel like it. Oh, The Secret of the Saucer. That's something I really should read. That's a definite should. Got this for Christmas from my eldest. And I'm sure they're wondering why I haven't commented on it. So we're going to put that in the book, the pile for book clubs, because it's kind of a should book. Okay. Colson Whitehead, The Underground Railroad, winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Cora is a young slave on a cotton plantation in Georgia, an outcast even among her fellow Africans. She is on the cusp of womanhood, where greater pain awaits. So when Caesar, a slave who has recently arrived from Virginia, urges her to join him on the Underground Railroad, she seizes the opportunity. Why did I pick that up? I mean, it doesn't sound bad or anything, but I don't know why I picked that up. I'm putting that in the maybe pile. The Capital of Dreams by Heather O'Neill. Okay, yeah, Heather O'Neill's an author I wanted to follow up, but that's something that's a little more high. It's better than maybe. It's the better than maybe pile. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, The Female Quixote by Charlotte Lennox. This was one that I really wanted to read at the time. I've tried a couple times. I keep getting interrupted. It's a book that you shouldn't be interrupted with. There's a lot. There is a lot. This would make a great camp book because it's the kind of book that would be great to read sort of over the course of we're there on and off for 8 or 9 weeks. Now that we're retired, we don't have to really worry about the scheduling so much. So I don't really know how many weeks we'll be there this year. This was another one that I really wanted to read. Connie Willis, Doomsday Book. This is a time traveler series. I read something in the middle of the series and thought, oh, I really want to go back to the beginning. So this is a really want to read book. Okay. The Dream of Chief Crazy Horse, a play by David Pownell. Picked this up on spec. I do like reading a play. That is a good camp book. Fair Play by Tove Jansson. I think the only reason this kind of got drifted to the back of the shelf was because I had done a number of other Tove Jansson books, and we watched the movie where the older lady goes on to the island with her granddaughter and son. Was that with Glenn Close? I didn't like the movie. Thought the book was a million times better. Not that the movie was bad, but I didn't think that Glenn Close did a good job of being an old woman, even though she's an old woman. She just, I felt like she was parroting herself. She just, over the course of the summer, her way of aging was to just become more bow-legged. Yeah, I didn't feel that the book has got a spirit to it. There's a certain kind of, it's not magical realism, but there's this sense of being so connected in to the island and the people around them and stuff that it's very rooted in its environment. And the old lady has been there since she was a child, and so she's sort of passing on not really so much knowledge as equanimity in a way, like how this is life. We're going to go through these stages. The granddaughter's lost a mother, and yes, that's really sad, but it's all part of the beauty of being alive. So, yeah, I don't think the movie captured that at all. So I'm going to put this for the winter because I still have Tove Jansson's other books in my head. Explosion in a Cathedral. I picked this up on spec. It's got so much text, and I've tried to read it once or twice. I really haven't got past page 10. I think this is a winter book. Three Summers by Margarita Liberacki. Why? It's a story of three sisters growing up in the countryside near Athens before the Second World War. Living in a big old house surrounded by beautiful gardens are Maria, the oldest sister, as sexually bold as she is eager to settle down and have a family of her own. Yeah, that's a summer book. So in what month are we in? We're in May. Let's put that in the better than maybe pile. Okay. Ceremony. Leslie Marmon Silko. Penguin Classic. I probably picked this up just because it was a Penguin Classic. It's got poems and prose and I know. This is a reprint of the Penguin Orange collection, and it was the only one that I had not read. I didn't read them on purpose, but over the course of my life, I've managed to read most of them, and except for this one. So I picked this one up. That is a maybe book, because I was not picking it up so much for the book itself as just the fact that I hadn't completed the series, and so some sort of crazy completist urge fell upon me, and I hit the send button for buying it. Okay, Mary Lawson. The Other Side of the Bridge. Again, she wrote Crow Lake. I enjoyed Crow Lake. Mary Lawson. It's possible I have read this, so that's why it's sort of in the end of things. I am going to put this in the better than maybe, because if I have read it, I will be glad to know that I enjoyed it and I can pass it on. So let's check that off the list. Mystery in Little Tokyo. Oh, I know why I picked this up. It was part of that whole exploration trying to find the book, Something in the Swamp, that I just loved. And it was part of a collection. I could only buy a lot of books. So this was part of the lot of books. And I'm pretty sure I don't really care. Don't really care. Don't really care. Okay. John McNabb. Oh, okay. This is a fishing one that I thought, I think it'd be pretty funny in a way. It's a lawyer, a banker, and a statesman find themselves bored in London one August. To relieve the situation, they decide they must give up their public life for a time and put themselves in a position where they will meet adventure and, by the risk of exposure, give themselves a zest for life. So they go to Scotland, where they are challenged by their friends to poach and then see if they get caught. That might be a fun read aloud at the camp. Not in the camper van, that's the Reluctant Dragon. So I think that might be fun for read aloud at the camp. Yep. Okay, Stowaway to Mars by John Wyndham. This is a project. I want to read through John Wyndham. I only have one upstairs, maybe two. This one I know I haven't read. I want to spend all the time, like I just want to do a year of reading John Wyndham. So this is a 2027. A decision, but not, yeah. Okay, so what did I say about those two? In the winter. And that's 2027. All right. Steve picked this up from one of the free libraries. I feel like it belongs on his pile, more on mine. Maybe it would be a funny read aloud now. We're reading this other one that's kind of charming, except is it about a hedgehog? No, I can't remember what the main character is. He's so neurotic. It's just, he wants to invite people over for a party, but he's basically talked himself into so much trauma that he's currently thinking about having this party while being under the bed. So we put a little hold on that. I was a little tired of this guy's anxiety, and he's only a hedgehog or something. A Book of Dragons. I've had this sitting here for a couple of years. It's the kind of book that's an anthology, isn't it? Yeah, it's an anthology of dragon stories from just over time. Ancient days, dark ages, dragons of folklore, dragons of later days. I don't know where to put this. It's not that it's a get rid of, it's that I just don't know when the mood is going to hit me. And it's not a maybe book. I'm not going to get rid of it. This is how many question marks can you have about a book? The Diviners, Margaret Lawrence. We're doing The Stone Angel as a read aloud, and at the time, I picked this up. There was some talk at the time about whether we would do the Stone Angels or the Diviners. So this was it a used bookstore? I think it was at a used bookstore. And so I just grabbed it on spec. Steeple Green, Musquodoboit Harbor. Oh, yeah. This was a used book in Musquodoboit Harbor bookstore. Pretty cool. A church that's been turned into sort of both an abode for the owner and a bookstore. And it was worth the drive. It was mostly because it was kind of an odd bookstore. It was heavily curated. It was definitely not meant for the beach crowd or the surfing crowd, which is what sort of happens in Musquodoboit. So it's a heavily curated bookstore, and I should leave the bookmark out so that we remember to go again. Because it is, where is it on the way to? Oh, there's a Dutch store that if you go either almost to Musquodoboit or just past Musquodoboit, there is a Dutch store where you can get all kinds of spices and cookies and Dutch things. So The Diviners is definitely a not now book. I guess it kind of goes, let's put it in 2027, because it's not gonna happen now. The Grapes of Wrath is a book that I really want to read. I'm going to put it back on the shelf because I know I want to reread it, and I have a friend who'd really like to read this too, but neither one of us are in the mood for despair. So that is definitely a future book, and I know that we'll chat about it. The Far Pavilions, I thought I had a great idea about rereading this. You know how they talk about maybe when you reread a book that was really important to you when younger, that sometimes it can not feel so good again, rereading it. And I think I read the first 30 pages and I remembered it. And I think I'm going to put it on the shelf and not worry about it. I think this is the kind of book I can pull out when I don't have so many others. This is a good book to just have hanging around. So I'll pull it out maybe in a year or two when I'm really ready for that kind of a reread. I've done a lot of rereading in the last year and a half, so I don't feel like I really have to keep the momentum up on this. This is a gardening book that came out of one of the free, maybe even a box. Wet Days at Edgewood. Let me do that again. Wet Days at Edgewood with Old Farmers, Old Gardeners, and Old Pastorals by the author of My Farm at Edgewood. 1865. What edition is this book? Sorry, that's the dishwasher in the background. I don't know if you guys have that problem. Our stupid little soap thing won't open. I think we had one pile of dishes that we ended up washing 3 times because 1864. Is this book that old? Huh. I guess it is. It's like 100 plus years. Where will I put this? I thought I'd read it in the summer. Like now. I thought I'd read it now. Am I in the mood for a gardening book? Let's put it in the better than maybe pile. All right. Sharon K. Penman. This is Dragon's Lair, a medieval mystery. I'm going to put that in the summer pile because that's when that would be, fun. Because, I think I read quite a lot in July and August when we're at the camp. This book just kind of came. Steve saw it somewhere in a box. The Story of a Canadian Painter. I keep meaning to read this. I don't usually read books about artists. I usually just kind of flick through the drawings. But this is... She sounds like an interesting lady. Where should I put this? It's a better than maybe pile. All right. We're getting to the bottom, aren't we? This is The Breakthrough, a Daphne du Maurier short story. Scientists attempt to solve the mystery of life after death has chilling consequences in this eerie tale. That's just going to be like a one. You know what this is good for? This is good for like a doctor's office or something like that. And My Antonia is another book that, I guess, have you guys not been seeing the covers of the books? Well, I hope I have not been irritating you. Sorry about that. My Antonia, I have not read anything by Willa Cather, and it's in my those lovely little fun things. I'm going to put that in when we come back from the summer pile. All right. Below, where you can't see, there's 5 books that are all part of a series that just kind of showed up on my doorstep, all tied up nice and neat. And then I have book 1 and 2 of the All Souls trilogy, Discovery of Witches. And I think someone in my book club recommended these. That also feels like a summer book. But there's 2 of them. So one has to go down into the series pile. And one has to stay up. So, all right, I see a bit of a pattern starting to happen. Or not so much a pattern as Not so much a pattern as a little bit of organizing is happening here. Okay, so the books of the series that I haven't read are under the shelf. And the books of the series that are next, books number 2, are right here. So they're ready to go. Then we have the Better Than Maybe pile. Then we have the Maybe pile. The Maybe pile should maybe go. Maybe pile should maybe go at the end of the year. So this is winter. Okay, so that's winter. Let's just put it down that way. This is 2027. That's the maybe pile. All right. On the steps that you can't see, maybe you can. No, you can't see it through the woodwork. You can see the bottom. This is the going to the camp. I'm going to put it in a box. And this is going to the camper van. So you're going to put it with the camper van pile, because that's in a couple of weeks. This is... You know, the other reason I'm not too keen on how to read, it looks like she's trying to break her own neck or do a chiropractic move. So, would I read it sooner if I don't have the cover on it? Oh, I look at the back. The back is way funner. Yeah, I'm gonna peel that label off, and I'm gonna look at it from the back side. That will give me more motivation. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes a cover can really influence me. Yes, for sure. I'm one of those people that judges a book by its cover. But if the cover's kind of ooky, then I just have an aversion. I don't reach for it. So we're going to put this in the winter pile, because you know what would be fun with this book? This would be good to have someone to read it with, like a book buddy read. But it was so bloody hard to get in the first place. I am not sure that I could get a second copy to talk someone into it. So, research. Okay, that was the back from the camp pile. That is next year. Winter. So that's fall. When I say winter, I mean kind of November, December. We got these, don't know what to do with. This is going to the doctor, so it can go there. I have these 3 books that I wanted to talk about these as books that don't crush your soul, part 4 or 5. I don't have that many. I've only got this one. So I'm going to check that underneath too, because usually what I do is if I come across a book that will fit in that category, I just kind of store it there. I have been meaning to talk to you guys about Helen Humphreys, the Evening Chorus, and Thomas King, Sufferance, for a gazillion years. I had a plan to do Helen Humphreys, like a overview author kind of read, and Thomas King too. I was almost ready to do Thomas King when that information came out, how he's not First Nations, I think. Anyways, it didn't really bother me in terms of, well, these books are amazing. And no one from the First Nations community was particularly upset about it. So I thought, okay, well, I don't think it's a big deal. Anyways, I have not really read this book carefully, because I was thinking I'm going to do the Thomas King thing. That is a gotta read it now book. And The Evening Chorus it's really a lovely book. Steve and I read it last summer. I should probably just bring it to your attention again. I will put this in my talk about it next week pile, because it's really lovely. And in a way, is it a book that won't crush your soul? Kinda, because it's so well written. But the subject matter is a bit sad. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, so when I'm going to talk about a book, it goes on the Newell Post over here. That's where I store that's next week's video books. They go there. So we've got 2 books I don't know what to do with. It's not too bad. Let me see if I can reposition the camera. Close your eyes. All right. Oh shit. You don't need to see my boob. All right. We have the camper van pile. We've got right. These are rereads for now, but they're probably, I have low expectations. The Do It Now with Low Expectations pile. That goes. This is put it upstairs on the shelves, and when I feel like I'm ready to go for it again. Yeah, I've got all 4 of these. These are books that I will probably come to. Not this year. I'm not feeling it. Maybe 2027, but they don't need to take up space down here, so they can go back upstairs on the shelves. And what I'll do actually is I'll tie a little string around them so that the 4 stay together instead of get put out on the shelves, and that way I'll know that's my plan. Actually, I can add the diviners to that. And I'm going to keep the John Wyndham project. That's a 2027 project. I'm going to get serious about it. So we've got, I'm going to turn the camera off for a second and put stuff where it belongs. Okay, a few moments later, we have the library pile, the short stories that I will read between things. We have the books that I really want to read. And we have the books that are all tied up and they're going to go upstairs. And then they usually go like that. That will go upstairs. So now everything looks a lot neater and a lot more reflective of what I really want to be reading, I think. Yeah, I think that little exercise just helped me to figure out what my priorities are, and that just makes me a little happier in the sense that I was a bit floundering what I wanted to talk to you guys about next. So sometimes when this pile gets into a muddle, then gets into a muddle. Well, the last thing I have left to do, I have so many bookmarks that have come with books, or like the bookstores give you bookmarks, but then I have been gifted some of these sparklers, and I have, how many mats do I have here? Oh, my girlfriend, she likes these glittery things, so she's given us all these coasters and stuff. This one is a thing that you put over your page. Anyways, I have all kinds of sparkles now. I was trying to figure out whether my mom would like some sparkles. So anyway, I have a billion bookmarks to go through and decide. I'm feeling a little traumatized by my bookmarks. Does anybody else have that kind of experience where, you know what I do most of the time? Most of the time, we get these wrappers that have your name from the library. It's got your name on it, and when you have to get it off the shelf by, otherwise they're going to take it from you. I use these because they work. And yeah, I'm not a good bookmark user. Anyways, I think that's it for me. I hope all your reading dreams and adventures continue to come true, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.